Another RadioCastAoE coming up. I was actually planning on trying to join this game, but I was just too slow. This is around 1,200 players playing 1v1 Arabia unranked. Let's see what's going on. Lithuanian Mirror. Ummetje against, what was that second nick? hamxaishfaq95. Alright, let's see how this develops. I want that pane there so I can keep an eye on the villagers. They seem fairly prepared to do what needs to be done here initially. Putting down 2 houses and taking sheep, so no big disasters initially. I believe there's a bit of a difference in the villager production. Didn't I see that? Yeah. So ummetje is a few seconds earlier, but nothing significant. Decent scouting for blue. Using sheep for sure. Ham is a little more conservative, not going out with his sheep, so not the same scouting there, and thus not quite the same score either. Ooh, a lame. No? Ummetje giving up on that? Not wanting to lose more HP on a scout. Okay, fair enough. This is going to be one of these super aggressive plays. Only 2 on wood for a blue player. Also, it looks like red is doing 3, so that's more a standard scout build. Boar coming in for blue here. That's not going to be a super pretty boar, and yeah, that was far away from the TC. So, not perfect. Ooh, he seems like he's paying a lot of attention to his scout, but I don't think he... Oh, he might lose his scout here if red is paying attention. Red's just focusing on the boar, okay. That was lucky for blue. Still just 2 on wood for blue, but he is not... he has not built a barrack. How is this wood? Okay, he has 100 wood. And he will probably need a house before he'll have enough wood for barracks. So it's not an early barrack. And it's certainly not early barrack for red, because he is, first of all, 3 on wood. Second of all, he has built his mill. So this is just a standard build order. Assuming it's going to be scouts. At this point, I'm assuming scouts from both. Might be infantry, men-at-arms, or something like that from blue. But I've not seen him take gold, so there's really no indication. Ooh, I guess he felt like he had to take down the boar there because the villager was low on HP, but it's not optimal boars from blue. Red spore are definitely better. A second lumber camp for red, so he's more lumber focused. And blue is forcing feudal H there by a force drop, going up on 19 pop. And now sending some more guys over to wood. I think he needs more than 5 on wood if he wants to build a barracks and then have the food he needs. Sorry, the wood he needs for his stable as he hits feudal H. He's almost halfway to feudal H already. So this build is not perfect if scouts is indeed what he wants to go for. He is pushing deer. That's good for the extra food boosts. But yeah, there comes the barracks on about 60%. So that is solid. Okay, he takes wood with villagers. He takes straggler wood. If these guys, no, only one on wood. It might be good enough. Maybe it's perfect actually. I'm not sure. It's gonna be tight. If it's gonna be good enough. Oh, that's unfortunate. That's very important actually. Red should probably stick to hassling that villager. Ah, that was actually perfect. I guess I didn't give blue his due when it came to his build order. That was actually absolutely perfect. Stable is going up, and blue is now going heavily onto berries because well, he still has some deer, but he chose not to push anymore, rather using the scout to join in the aggression. I assume some scouts should come out now. No? There we go. Okay, a little bit slow on that. Red is just now going up and he sees the stable, so he should know what's up. He's also building the stable. He has a bit more eco to play with since he went up on 22, I believe. Blue gets housed on 25 pop. That's of course unfortunate, and he still hasn't built a house. I think I would have forced down a house by the woodline or something. He walked all the way out to the edge of his base to form walls with the houses. I think if you're doing a scout rush and you get housed like that, I think it's more important to get the house up than necessarily place the house in the perfect spot. Red, as I said earlier, knows what's up, so he gets a spear out, but he leaves a villager exposed, a villager that was out building a stable, and that villager is going down to the first two scouts coming from blue. So blue is putting pressure on red here. Red is, as of now, completely defensive, only going for spears to keep this scout rush at bay. He effectively uses the spears to chase the blue scouts away from his berries, taking no more losses. So it is one kill so far, one villager kill for blue. That's all the kills that has been happening so far in this game. And now two more scouts arrive at red's base, hitting the wood line, and one more villager will go down for sure. Villagers fighting back, taking down one scout, but will lose a third villager. So, oh, we have 4 kills. Okay, we had another engagement over by the mill. The two initial scouts go down to spears and villagers, but they also kill one more villager in the process. So we have 4 kills for blue, 3 kills for red. All 4 kills for blue are villager kills, while all 3 kills for red is military units. The villager count is consistent with those numbers because blue has 29 villagers and red has 25. So it seems they have managed to maintain fairly constant villager production while this has been going on, and the military exploits of blue and his villager kills is what makes up the difference in villager numbers. Blue is slowly working on walling his base, so is red. And red is now massing scouts. He has 5 at the moment. Seems like he's going forward with 4 and using this initial scout to keep scouting. Blue does not seem like he will be fully walled by the time the red scouts arrive. Not even close, actually. The backside of his base is still wide open. And the red scouts are looping around out of sight and is now in the back of blue space, not yet discovered. Idling there for now, not doing anything. Now I think they are running close enough to a house that they might be spotted, but it doesn't seem like blue's reacting in any way. Whilst all this is going on, blue is actually without army at this point. Red's cruising all the way around blue's base and hitting the berries. That is actually a really good spot. Is pretty much as far away from the TC as he could possibly be. And he takes down one villager. Loses 2 scouts. These scouts have no upgrades beyond the +2 attack from Feudalage. But he gets, I think that was 2 villagers, maybe 3? I wish I had the villager kill count that Memb is so excited about for KOTD3. That is really a nice tool for a caster. But if my count is right, I think that was 2 villagers down for blue. Blue now has a scout out in his woodline, so as the 2 remaining red scouts arrive at the woodline, they get chased off by the by the spear. Sorry. The villager counts is fairly similar at this point. Blue has 32, and he is on the way to Castle Age. 25% up. Red has 34 villagers and not yet up to Castle Age. Trying to get more picks on blue's farms, but there is a spearman waiting there as well, so no more kills. Oh, the spear gets in a nice jab at one of the scouts as he passes by, looking for more targets. Blue is microing all he can at this moment. He seems to be spending a lot of time paying attention to these scouts. Still, he gets another jab and loses another scout. We are at 32 villagers for blue since he is going up to Castle Age. No change there, but the red is still producing villagers, so he's at 38 villagers at this point. But then again, not even clicked Castle Age, whilst blue is only 10% away. Blue is also picking up bloodlines, whilst red is now doing wheelbarrow, so he'll do wheelbarrow before clicking Castle Age. His macro seems fairly good. He's floating a bit too much wood perhaps, but the rest for Castle Age is pretty perfect. He is only 50% through wheelbarrow though, so actually there are a few things to be desired with Red's macro. He could have timed things a little bit better. I could probably have clicked wheelbarrow quite a lot sooner, and I gotten working on the Castle Age upgrade a bit sooner as well. But those things are hard to time correctly. Blue is getting the monastery up, and that's of course extremely important. This is a Lithuanian mirror, so both of these players will be extremely interested in these 5 relics that are straddled around the map. Whoever gets the most relics will have a very solid advantage over the other, and then it of course helps a lot to be first to Castle Age. Red also realizes this, so he positions his remaining scouts on the relics closest to blue. At least one scout is in that kind of service. The second one actually still scouting. He seems to be auto-scouting. So the score is extremely close. It's 2,500 approximately for each. Blue has walled off the parts of his base facing directly against red, but there are still wide gaps that red can still use to get into blue space. Red on the other side is close to fully walled. It's only a matter of building one last stable and 2 patches of palisade wall, and then red is fully walled. And he also has pretty safe wood lines. There are no signs of overchopping anytime soon. So blue is playing more open. He also built the definition of a farm TC here in the back of his base, just in the middle of nowhere, 6 tiles away from a stone, being the closest resource. So that's a fairly strange TC, but oh well. He's also started building knights. So military count fairly close, 8 for blue, 7 for red, but blue, of course, having been in Castle Age for a bit longer, has 2 knights in his roster, so a bit more value. Blue bringing the first relic, coming through his gates at this moment. And his resources look very healthy, but I think he would rather have spent them a little more effectively. Maybe... Oh, no, sorry, I'm looking at the wrong. That's actually red. Red having very solid resources in the bank, but that's not necessarily a good thing. He probably would have wanted to throw down a few more stables and start night production. Well, he has started night production, but he could probably afford to actually build one more stable, considering he has almost 1,000 food and 350 gold. But he is producing from 2 stables, not entirely consistently. He has 6 knights at this point. Blue is going more for town centers and villagers. He's only producing from 1 stable, so he's actually down in knight numbers at this point. Oh, and as he goes out to one of the closest relics to his base, the scout from red is there, because he was positioned there quite a while ago to guard that relic, and then the monk gets sniped, and the scout realizes that he is no longer safe there. The knights chase him away, and he moves off and surrenders that relic. But of course, that is some time won for red, so he will be able to pick up other relics around the map. The relic count is currently 2 for blue, and as of yet, none for red, but red is about to pick up at least 1. And the last one is actually the one really close to blue space, so this is not looking... Well, it should be a 5th one as well, right? Where is the 5th relic? Is it coming in for red, perhaps? I'll see if I can find it. Villager count is definitely in blue's favor at this point. 69 villagers for blue, 57 for red. So the fact that blue has been in Castle Age longer, definitely having some effect there. I'm trying to figure out where this last relic is. I wonder if a monk... Yes, a monk was bringing it back to blue's base. So that means blue is actually decked out with all 4 bonus damage. Red has more score at this point. That being a result of having a larger army. However, blue's army is then that much more potent because he has the 4 bonus damage from relics. He has brought in 4 relics. Only 1 left for red to capture. Seems blue also has a bit more consistent production. Yeah, definitely more consistent production villager-wise. Red, however, has focused more on army. He probably should go aggressive at this point. He should probably pick up the upgrades that he can get from blacksmith to offset his lack of relics, and then try to put some pressure on, maybe some siege and cavalry or something like that, or the feared Lithuanian combo of skirms and cavalry, perhaps the Ferrari skirms, as Mem would call them, and just keep making knights, try to take a fight with blue, keep blue's numbers down. Blue does not have much of an army, but of course that's hard for red to know because it's not really scouting that much. They're just cooping up behind each their set of walls at this point. Blue has finally managed to full wall his base pretty much. There's still a gap where knights can run through. They will have to run under a TC, but 2 armor or +2 armor knights don't really care about town center fire that much. There's also a palisade gate quite far away from blue's base as part of his wall. It's a house wall that is fairly sturdy, but then there's a palisade gate, which is pretty much the weakest link in any wall. So I don't really like that gate. There's no real reason to have a gate there. That's just a weak point that a decent number of knights can easily chop through. And speaking of decent numbers of knights, Red has now 21 knights patrolling outside Blue's base. He has score lead, and that is definitely because of Army. Army, as you may know, gives you quite a lot of a score boost. Blue could definitely benefit from a few more lumber camps. Both of his 2 lumber lines have quite the walk distance. Red has a bit better situation in that regard. Well, he has one kind of trekking, far trekking group of woodcutters, but then he has built town centers along the remaining 2 wood lines he's working on. So a bit better there. Blue is coming out with 2 monks and his group of plus 6 cavalry, and he also takes hill advantage here. Red has the numbers advantage. We'll see what is more important. Blue hits Imperial Age there. He is actually wasting a lot of cav before Imperial Age comes in. I think I would have waited. Even if this is a clear victory for Blue, it could have been even better if he had just waited a little bit and gotten to Cavalier. Then he would have been even more dominant. But I guess he was afraid of what was happening in Red's base and with Red's army, and it was definitely not bad. The plus 6 damage is quite sick, and there's really no way Red can compete with this. I think the only possible thing for him to do now is to try to mass monks and pikes, but no. It was too late for that, and this was the relics. It was pretty much a clear fact from the beginning of the game that whoever won out in the relic war, at least if it was such a clear victory as a 4-to-1 victory, relic distribution, whoever had the 4 relics would most likely win this game, and that's also what happened. Not perfect play from either player here, but Blue definitely was more consistent on the eco, more constant villager production. He also knew the importance of getting to Castle Age fast and get those relics, which paid off. Red had a more efficient cavalry production, but that was not enough when coming up against those plus 6 Blue Lithuanian Knights. GG, well played. Fun factoid, they actually both ended on 89 villagers, exactly even. But villager count wasn't really the most important thing here. It was relics and knights.